Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk Stroke. I am your host, Jerry Wald, and also a stroke survivor. And for those of you that are new here, new viewers, I started doing this show to bring awareness to about stroke, TBI, aphasia, brain injury, and also to provide a platform for all survivors to share their stories from all across the world. Um, and experts in brain health, so they can share their knowledge. And so today's guest, my amazing guest, is Aubrey Robinson, and we'll chat about her journey and what she's been through. And also, you guys make questions, ask questions, and make comments, and feel free to ask anything that you want. But why don't we go ahead and get started? Telling me to dance, taking a chance. All righty. Good morning. Good morning, Farron. Good morning, Yvonne. So funny that Farron from Nova Scotia, Canada, and Yvonne from Athens, Greece. And good morning, Salud. Nice to see you. So let's go ahead and bring on Aubrey. So let's please give her a warm welcome. Jenny, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too. That's
Awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah. So I mean, you do your own show too on you said Tuesdays.
Yes, sir. Yeah, TBI Tuesday. Just trying to, what do you call it? Help spread a little awareness and hey, what to do, what to say, like suggestions. I will say.
I know exactly. And good morning, Christy. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. But if I missed somebody, Mike, nice to see you. I apologize, but we'll go back, answer questions if you need wanted to know anything. But Aubrey, I'm so happy to see you again. We've talked several times.
Yep. And I just want to say, oh, hey Heather, good morning, and everybody.
Exactly.
Yep.
And salute from Kauai in Hawaii there. David Katz, nice to see you. Another TBI survivor as well. So, Aubrey,
Yes, sir.
who Aubrey is?
Yep. Who is Aubrey? That is
Yes,
a good question. I'm still trying to figure it out. But
exactly.
yeah, so that's the thing. So I could go, what do you call it? Do you want me to go back and tell my story ish?
Yeah, I think it'd
Or
be a great idea. And good morning, Michelle. Yeah, exactly. Let's go ahead and tell who was. If we rewind the clock,
yeah, yep.
you know.
All right. Correct. Yeah. So who was? Yeah, because I was like, that kind of I don't know, it kind of what do you call it? Blends in. All right. Hey there. I'm Aubrey Robinson. I always have a hard time. I'm like, Aubrey Howell Robinson. So good news, I just got married. Well, 2 years ago, but after my accident. All right, stop, go back. So I I'll try to make it a quick-ish story. So basically, I was a what do you call late bloomer. Basically, I just kept working silly little jobs. I think so. I worked at Starbucks for years and went to Apple. Worked at Apple. I'm like, all right. So I was kind of always into tech. So I'm like, all right. Then I moved with my partner to Boulder, Colorado, and I heard about coding, and I'm like, oh, that sounds fun, but that's I'm not good at math, so there's no good. But so I decided, all right, well, they said I don't have to be, so I'm gonna do it. So I went to a 6 month coding boot camp. Awesome. And then I got a job out in San Francisco at a startup. I was like, oh, check this out. So, oh, and yeah, also I lost 160 pounds.
Wow.
Crazy. That was, I moved to Boulder, Colorado, and it's like the healthiest community. And I'm like, I'm the fattest person in Boulder.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I was like, oh, golly, got to change that. So thankfully, I started losing weight. And so I'm happy about that. And then I was like, I can do anything. So that's when I learned how to code. And I'm like, check it out. So And then I moved out to San Francisco, and that's kind of ish where the story starts. Um, is I was, oh, how did you get your brain injury? Well, I'll let you know. So when I was in San Francisco, I wanted to meet some people, and I'm like, how do I meet people? I just knew a bunch of, white gentlemen, and I'm like, that's awesome, but I'm like, I want some more diversity here. So
Sure.
thankfully, I learned about a community called ALC, which is AIDS Life Cycle. It's a bicycle ride from San Francisco down to LA over 7 days, 545 miles.
Wow.
But I mean, it's fully supported and they help you. And so it's, I think, a great goal, and you get to raise money and awareness. So I'm like, all right. So I had just kind of, started or riding with them on Halloween 2015. And I had my accident 3 months later. It's like February. But so anyways, what happened is I was training with these people. There's probably 60 people on this ride. We've been going uphill. Well, if you know San Francisco area,
Yeah.
oh, it's hills. So trek on by. Yes, it is a long trek, but
Yeah.
hey, broke up in 7 days, so ish better. So, anyways, up and down hills is a big thing, and there's a bunch. And then on this day, there's like probably 40 people waiting it was the last hill. Come to find out, like 2 miles from the end, we'd gone like 40. And so people are like, yeah, come on, stay away. And I'm like, oh no, I'm going down. I've been going up all the time. I'm going down. So because of that, I started to go down and went around a curve. Nobody saw it, but I had a cycling accident. Do I remember what happened? Nope, as much as I wanted to. So basically, I flipped over my handlebars, hit my head. Yes, we're required to wear a helmet, but knocked myself out.
With a helmet.
Yeah, yes, with the helmet. So, I mean, that's the thing. It was like my bike was right beside me, and they were like, it's weird. And so that was the beginning of my journey ish, It's like they took me to the hospital right away. I actually died twice, and they had to resuscitate me. So I'm like, oh boy. So I was in a coma, and the doctor said, okay, well, told my family, who were not from that area, they're from Florida. But anyway, my other family, they were like, she's not gonna wake up for at least 3 months, if ever. She probably won't. Put her in a home somewhere, forget about her. Whoa. So they forgot about me. No. But the thing is, I woke up in 10 days. So very thankful that it was a 10-day instead of 3 months or never. But yeah, so I was in, what do you call it? 3 different hospitals for 4 months, and working out, doing physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and cognitive, all the things. And I'm like, doctors just were like not really optimistic or hopeful. So I mean, it was crazy. I was determined, though, that I was at least going to walk out of the hospital on my own, not wheeled out in a wheelchair. So, yeah, because I had to learn in these hospitals how to, eat, breathe, like all the things. Like, so walking, yeah, that was definitely something I had to learn again.
Sure.
So it was nuts. And I was thinking, oh, I got to go back to my apartment, and there's 25 stairs up. So they made me get good at stairs.
Wow.
So I'm like, just have a row, I'm good. But then with everything that happened there, my roommates, I'm like, in San Francisco, it's a bit expensive. So they had to, get somebody else to move in and help out. So, but I am very fortunate in my my family. My parents brought me home to Florida to work on recovery a bit more.
Sure.
So technically you could say I am disabled. The doctor said I can't work. My brain's not fast enough, or no, they said my cognitive speed is lower.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you hear my voice?
Yeah.
I used to speak for a living.
That's right.
So, yeah, I was determined to make it back. But, I mean, finally ish, like just learning with my family telling me, Aubrey, it's okay. You can just hang out. Oh, where in Florida from? I'm from Clearwater. Hey, I'm from Fort Walton Beach.
All right.
So, yep. See, Florida, pretty great, huh? My cousin, I think, went to Clearwater, the college baseball team. Anyways,
Yeah.
yep.
Let's see here. There's some, I don't know if you've seen any of the. Sorry, Jenny. Do you have ADHD?
Yep. So funny you should mention that, Ish. So I didn't think I did before my little sister had it, but now, yeah, one of my meds is Ritalin because I am totally ADHD now. I'm like, here, there, squirrel, squirrel. And as I'm sure y'all know, if you have what is it called? Problems with short-term memory loss. I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to write things down all the time. That's why I have a handy dandy book with me. Oh, and my pin, clipped on all the time because
Yeah.
if I don't write it down, I'll forget it.
Yeah, exactly. I understand. Let's see. I'm looking at some other comments too for you.
Yeah.
This is one that I see about 99.9% of the time.
Yes. Well, mental health, that is a good question or thing to ask about because what I found out is anyone who goes in the hospital, like I don't know anywhere, but at least when I was in California, they automatically get put on like meds, antidepressant things. And for me, I'm like, obviously I didn't know or choose, but I'm like, now after the accident, I'm like, you know what? I've had a few things happen. I'm good. Give me a happy pill, you know? So thankfully, I mean, I don't want to minimize anything like, yeah, it's a hard thing. And some people may just need it for a little bit. I'm like, just keep me on it. My whole life is different, but I believe it's better now. Crazy to say, but it's true. So, yeah, mental health was definitely a, what do you call that? Sorry, aphasia, because I forget what I'm saying or
No,
the
totally.
word.
I know we've talked about this, and I completely understand.
Yeah.
There's some other ones here. Jenny, can you see what Jenny's saying here?
Yeah, I can relate because I had ADD and it's gotten worse. Oh, central stroke. Yes.
Yeah.
I can yep. See, and that is the thing. It's like as far as your brain racing, actually very well, thank you for determination. I'm like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the doctors did tell me, they're like, it's a good thing you do that because you've been able to get better so quickly. They said, I'm like, do you hear the way I talk? I'm like, still.
I love the way you talk.
Oh, well, thank you. And yeah, that's what my wife says and stuff. She's like, that's great. Oh, yeah. So people treat me like I'm short. Yes. I'm like, and I still fight against that. Like, and it's funny. It's like the people who don't know me or don't see any written thing, they think I'm fine. Like those who have heard about an injury or something, then yeah, those people are kind of like, I don't know. So, man, I'd say, just be you. Like, it's hard. I'm not gonna say it's easy. Just be like, that's crazy. I'm fine, but just say, do you, like,
Yeah,
be
exactly,
you, like, and
exactly.
as much, even sorry, we'll do the other part. "Oh, I want to get back. I want to get back. But now, like, seeing, okay, you have deficits, like typing. I used to type 85 words a minute. I was fast.
Yeah,
Now it's like my left hand is not good. So now it's
yeah,
like 20 if I'm lucky.
yeah. I,
So,
I'm sure uh, Jana's asking this one. Do you see any weakness from your injury?
yes. So, and that was a huge thing. And even like we talked, Jerry, my left side, and I do believe, yeah, that is from the strokes, but my left side was almost completely paralyzed in the
Yeah,
hospital. So, I mean, my left hand was just, I wish I should
yeah,
have shown you that picture, but it's just like
yeah,
they made me a stand in the hospital on my wheelchair, and they were like, so basically that just sat there and was like,
yeah. Flaccid, didn't do anything. Um,
correct.
yeah. So, you got three strokes. Oops.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry. So they're saying
Wow.
they're small,
Sure.
but I'm like,
Still.
any stroke I think is pretty major.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Oh my gosh.
yep, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. There's it's so amazing. You had the strokes while you were in the hospital.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I don't know if it was like if I had them like as I was going to it, they don't know ish. And
Right.
they were trying to figure out, well, they told my mom, I guess when she got there. So I guess it must have been she had 3 small brain bleeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
she was like, okay, I didn't know what that was. Like months down the line, she was like, oh, they said you had strokes. I'm like,
Great.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm like, hey, find out all sorts of new stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So
Yes.
maybe a little like this Michelle saying she had
Yeah.
hers during her coma in a
Yeah.
coma.
Yep. So yeah, that is actually a good thing to bring up or a good idea. Well, basically, I'm trying to say thank you. That is a good idea. I never thought about.
Right.
So I'm like, that could have been it.
Yeah. It, and do you feel that you were prepared leaving the hospital?
If I was prepared, hold on.
Oh no, keep you write those notes.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
understand.
yeah.
Um,
Okay. So was I prepared to go out or was I
yeah,
compared to being? Oh, okay. To go out, that's a tricky one
yeah,
because uh, I don't feel like specifically prepared, but I was very thankful for my parents who I felt like I kind of crashed their retirement party. Of course, they would shoot me down every time they're, "Don't wait, we love you." But
yeah,
I was thankful that I did have the help I needed.
yeah.
So, and thankfully at the third hospital, they did work hard at trying to get me to do, what do you call it? Little things for myself, like stairs. They were big on that. And
Yeah,
even taking a shower, they're like, all right, this is what you can do to kind of, well, be able to do it or, oh,
right.
see all the words.
No,
But
I'm with you on that. I know that the pride when you're in
yes,
the hospital, I mean, you have to
correct.
be showered and bathed and all that stuff.
Oh golly, it is something. I thought it was funny. I grew up like in the what my parents were very religious, and it was always, oh, modest is hottest,
Yeah,
So it was like always trying to cover up, and I'm like,
right.
after being in the hospital, I think almost just a month, I'm like, whatever, here we go. Not that I'm going to be silly and do it in front of people, but I'm like, modesty is not always needed or not always a strength.
Yes, exactly. I think,
So,
yeah. I mean, I completely understand that. Little modest in the beginning. Oh,
yeah.
dirt before, and then you're in the hospital. It's like, All right. I mean, I
Oh
think I've
yeah, it's
seen
like,
this before.
yeah, the thing I was like, I had to wear diapers. What? Wait a second.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. I had just turned 36 4 days before my accident.
Okay. Wow, 36. All right.
So I'm like, and I'm a big whiskey girl, or at least I was, but
Yes.
I'm like, I haven't had my whiskey yet. Like, and my friends had planned a birthday party for me the day I had my accident, but oopsie, I messed that up. But I think it's kind of cool. They did have a, what do you call it, the birthday for me in the hospital parking lot and saying
All
up
right.
to my room, happy birthday.
Sounds like great friends and family there.
Yes, yes. I was just blown away. And they blew away my family too, like because picked them up from the airport and even got them a place to stay in San Francisco,
Where it's expensive there, we know that.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
So, did you develop epilepsy?
oh, well, no, that is one thing I did not. I guess the strokes were kind of like one off
Yeah.
ish,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah. So, oh,
Exactly.
they're definitely tracking me for all sorts.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so many. You've got some very big fans out here.
Oh,
Been up for 2 years.
yeah.
Amazing. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I had my 30 something anniversary in the hospital. I didn't know it, but
really? Whoa. That's quite
yeah,
a
I missed that year.
step. Yeah, but I'm sure you've been able to make that up, huh?
Oh yeah, I think we did. Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now you and I are really trying to spread awareness because you do your
Right.
shows on Tuesdays,
Yep.
but maybe sometimes you go live other days.
Oh, sorry, cat.
Like, oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody loves animals.
Oh, okay. Well, good. She'll probably come back. But
Yes.
okay, so what are my shows?
Yeah,
And
I'd love to hear about that. Or they could
okay,
tune in, subscribe.
yes, yes. Please check it out. But yeah, when I was in the hospital, going, what do you call it? I was, how do I say? Well, I was a software engineer. So, I mean, that should kind of tell you a little. I'm a bit of a researcher.
Right?
Oh, I dig in and I've got to find out all the things. So I'm like, now I'm in the hospital with a brain injury, TBI. Wait, what? And then
Right.
they said I had DAI. I'm like, what? That's diffuse axonal injury. They're like, it's like adult shaken baby syndrome.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm like, wait,
Never
what?
heard of that. Wow.
So yeah, and it's funny because well, they give people who have that specific injury a 10% chance to survive.
Crazy.
So most people don't. They give me a 5% chance just in general.
Wow.
Thought I was gonna die the first night, so they let all sorts of people, my friends, back in the what do you call it, ICU, and
Right?
then 2 days are like, oh, she might live. So then they were having to walk it back and be like, oh
Wow.
yeah, we got to do that. So, and
Interesting.
yep, I'm sorry, I totally got off
No,
topic with
no. I mean, that's dealing with brain injury.
you.
We all get off track. I mean, it's just how it
You're
is.
right. See, you're making me feel better. Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Totally. I know. I see that, Mike, his comment there, but
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry. So I'm seeing now the different. All right. So I guess I will talk about my shows. See, that's what I was talking about. So
that's right.
yeah, yep. So when I was in the hospital, I tried desperately. I scoured the internet because I was like, I want to learn about this diffuse axonal injury, this
Right.
shaken baby syndrome.
Crazy.
I could not find anything. I mean, very medical term, but nothing great. So I'm like, you know what? I mean, and I really wasn't on YouTube that much. I mean, I gotten back on 26 or 2006, 2007, but I mean, just random funny videos.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, you know what? I am determined. You know,
Yeah.
they said nobody, well, only 10% of people survive. I'm like, and I definitely haven't seen it. I mean, I'm going to do whatever I can, whether it's a hot mess, which it turns out it is. But I'm like, you know, I'm just trying to do something to help. So, oh, and speaking of, so that is TBI Tuesday, but also I, you know, do another one on Saturday, and that's kind of more my funny. It's like shit show Saturday.
Yeah. That's what it's called.
I'm like, yeah, that's what it's called. I'm like, dude, my life, it's a bit of a shit show, but you know what? What am I going to choose? You know, and I choose good work. I choose to give and help, you know, just
Right.
like you, Jerry. Like we're choosing to take our life and give
Yeah.
back, whether it's
Right.
just, oh, and thanks, Heather, for putting that in there. But
Yeah. There it is.
so
Thank you, Heather. That's awesome.
fantastic. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
So
great.
yeah, and that's a thing like, well, everybody can do it no matter what your thing is. I say at the end of every video, I'm like, you matter, your story matters, and you belong here
Yeah.
because I need to hear that every day or whenever. But I'm like, I believe
Yeah.
for everybody. You
Yes.
should know.
And you, right. And you do have a great, when I watched you visit, by, like we talked about the memory,
Yeah.
you had a poster that you put up.
Oh,
Um, I wish I had it because that's really powerful.
yep. Yep. Well, thank you. And yeah, that's what I've started to randomly do because I'm like, what can I do at the end of the year, you know, to
Yeah.
help? But I'm like, all right, there we go. Motivational minute
Yeah.
ish.
Right. Oh, that's great.
So, yep, I've been just doing a live stream like for a couple minutes, 7 a.m. You know, I'm like, hey, it lives up there, so you can check it out. But
Yeah. And we actually, um, we met on a show, you and
yes,
I.
correct. Yep, yep.
Yes.
And that's was the crazy thing. We've been talking about it. Well, I said, I'm like, had no clue. I mean, what's the chances that I go to a channel I never go to? But I mean, it's not because it's bad. I just didn't know about it. But
Right.
one of my buddies, we call him our sensei, my Doc Rock, he was on that show, and I was like, go over and check it out. And then Jerry said something, and hey, Aubrey, my buddy Aubrey's like, I'm like, whoa. And so I got excited because I'm like, there's other people out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was terrific. And then one thing led to another, and
Yep.
that was terrific. I was so
Yep.
excited that we got in
I-
touch and
Correct.
similar type stories in this community.
Yes, yes. And I am so thankful. I'm like being able to just hear about somebody and then watching some or starting to watch your shows. And, you know, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, he's real deal. And then you actually agreeing to talk to me, you know, I'm like, whoa.
Oh,
So I was
absolutely terrific.
pumped. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you like? I mean, there's so many people that are out here, and you can see by the comments,
Yeah.
they're like just like Salute is saying. I missed it here, Salute, or I did print it up, saying that right here. Yes,
Okay.
we have a purpose to help.
You are absolutely right. That is a huge thing because, yeah, I often talk to my wife. I'm like, I feel like I have to. I mean, and it's not, how do you say, a requirement, but
Right?
inside me, I feel compelled
Yeah.
because I'm like, you know what? I want to give back because, I mean, even go back to another example. When I became a software engineer, I learned how to code. Well, I was 34.
Right.
I wasn't your average person, or average age. I didn't go to college for it.
Right.
But I'm like, so I, worked hard to try to help people come into coding because I'm
Yeah.
like, it's
Absolutely.
an amazing job. I want
Yes.
to help.
Yeah.
So same here. It's like we had this crazy accident. I mean, you did not choose stroke. I did not choose to hit my head, but what do we choose today?
Right. Exactly. What do we do? Why? What do we want to do?
Yep. Well, want to do. Well, I'm glad we connected. So that's a thing. Connect more and more with more people, but
Yes.
tell my story, tell your story and just, hey, what works for me?
Right.
Oh, setting alarms on my phone. What? I never did that.
Right.
Guess what? It helps now.
Yeah. It,
So,
absolutely. It's
yep.
amazing. Do you? I think we talked on again. Do you ever, when you're getting ready to go somewhere, are you thinking ahead, thinking, okay, I got to make sure I can get where I have to go, or like for me, I have to make sure there's not going to be like rocks in the road or where I'm going to be walking, because all those little things I think of.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So, and I think I told you about it. So, as soon as I went into the hospital, brain injury, the police revoked my license.
Yeah.
So, and doctors suggested you probably should not drive anymore. I'm like, what?
Wait a minute.
Funny. So, thankfully, what do you call it? In San Francisco, I had already sold my Jeep because it's expensive to park, even. So I'm like, So I didn't have a car. Cool.
Right.
But then I went home to what do you call sorry, my hometown, and I'm like, okay, I'm a 36-year-old lesbian, single lesbian, living at my parents' house. And I
Right.
gotta be like, hey dad, can you take me to Starbucks? What?
Yeah.
So, but it was, you know, you don't know, but it's a difficult thing. So,
Humbling.
depending on your situation, correct. So, I'm like, oh, wow, 36. This is a bit different. So, thankfully, my sister found out about this place right outside of Atlanta that it's a golf cart community. There's over 100 miles paved trail.
Right.
So just with my golf cart that only goes 15 miles per hour, I can get to the grocery store. I can go to Starbucks. I
There you
can,
go.
do all these things. And it's still, well, slower, so I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about, I never want to hurt anybody else.
Sure.
That's why I have not, I'm going to rap. But I'm like, just get a golf cart. I'm good with it. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. It's
yeah.
funny here. There's Michelle Jensen here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Choosing. Yes. So thank you. I think it's funny. You think I'm funny. I'm like, I'm not funny, but no, that's cool. Thank you. And you were right. Yeah. Like we all have a choice. Oh, I think I have a thing that there says happiness is a choice.
Yes.
So I'm like, I choose to be happy
Yes.
because I could sit on the couch, drink beer, eat chips, get fat, and be
Right.
like, oh, my life sucks. This is awful.
Yeah.
What good is that?
Yeah. Exactly.
Nope.
What's that going to do for you?
Correct. So I'm like, you know what? Use this energy I have and do it. So trainer, he wants me to post. Hey, all about new people.
Exactly. I love it. Carla,
Yep.
tell your trainer to reach out.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that'd be great.
Yeah, you are. I'm totally agreeing here,
Oh.
Jenny. Aubrey, you are an inspiration.
Well, thank you so much. I'm like, Oh, I'm still trying to figure out. I'm like, I'm a bit of a hot mess, but here we go.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So where did you meet your wife?
yep. Oh, that's a fun story. So, after I had my accident and I'm sitting in the hospital in San Francisco, I'm like, really? So I moved all the way across the country to a place that was, more progressive-ish.
Yeah,
And I'm like, all right. And have this accident, and then I'm back in the South. I'm like, whoa, what? But I'm like, oh well, I guess it's not meant to be. I'll just be by myself. So when I moved to Peachtree City, my older sister and her family had bought their house, and I got my own apartment.
yes.
But I had never lived alone, so I'm like, oh.
This
But
is
I have
different,
my little black lab. So anyway, I trained her to be my service dog. So,
right?
and her name is Survivor. So
Oh, nice.
Survivor's my service dog, and she reminds me every day, all right, Obs, you're a survivor. So,
It's awesome.
but yeah, so I was walking a survivor upon upon by a path or on a golf cart path in the morning, because I did morning and evening to let her get her walk.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I see this lady driving by in a golf cart, and she had like a rainbow flag, and I'm like, oh cool. Oh, what am I gonna say? Hey, nice flag. I'm like,
Yeah.
gosh. So let her go on by, and then a week later I saw her golf cart, and I was like at Walmart at the parking lot, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get to say something. Didn't see her. Like another week goes by, and so I ended up going to my first ever P flag meeting. But I was like, whatever, I'll just check out, start to try to meet friends.
Yeah.
She was there. It was her first one too. So we were like, hey. She was like, I saw you in the golf cart bath. I'm like, whoa, and so I'm very thankful that just
Yeah.
that random thing, and we just started kind of talking and hanging out a little bit, and
Next thing you
here we
know,
are.
yeah, here we are. That's
Correct.
awesome.
Yep. And that's another little side note. So I have a lot of side notes. But I'm like, I wanted to be married at least by the time I was 40. That was my goal.
That was it.
I got married at 39.
Wow. Well, you met the goal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, hey, well, nothing like last minute, but no, I'm thankful.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations
Yeah.
there.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm saying, like, my life is better now.
Yeah.
Am I happy being disabled? I'm like, you wouldn't say objectively, but overall, yeah, I'm happy. Like, how do you say, force me to do different things,
Right.
you know? I
Yes.
was able to meet you, and
I know how proud I am to know you.
oh gosh, I'm proud to know you, and you were doing this and brought these awesome people around. And
Yes.
yeah, so Jamie, determination, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what would you tell somebody that's going, as we all know, that are going through a tough time? Going through difficult times, as we all been there. Sometimes we go there.
Yep, yep. So, and it's funny-ish. I can't tell you like specifically do this one thing.
Sure.
Boom, like when I what do you call it? Woke up from my coma, and so within the hospital, I came around these three things, and I'm like, they're kind of my what motto or motivation. I believe everybody should do these three things, no matter what you do. But I'm like, live life every day, live it up. You never know when it'll be your last. Two, surround yourself with amazing people.
Yes.
Sorry if you hear that. They're fixing my kitchen, which mess.
It's all good. It's all good. No
So,
worries.
all right. And so, yeah, surround yourself with amazing people, because yeah, you get to choose who's around you.
Yes.
So I say do it. And then 3, do shit matters.
Yeah.
Like basically what matters to you might be different than what happens or matters to me might be different than what matters to Jerry.
Yeah.
But you know what? Go with it. So that's what I'd say, is keep on.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Great, great motto or great inspiration. What you were saying is just
Yep.
absolutely
Thanks.
amazing. Um,
Yep.
yeah, there's some.
Yeah, acceptance for today is so incredible. I am still working on that, Deborah. So, yes, that is good. Tell me again.
Yeah, we need to hear that.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Wow. Gosh, dang it. Well, I really appreciate this. You being on here, and we didn't meet your wife. Well, I did.
Yeah. Yep. That is true. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure she'll definitely be around coming to my shows and you'll see her.
Yeah. Oh, I will be there
Yeah.
for sure. For
Absolutely.
sure.
Awesome. That is
Well,
fantastic.
any last words of wisdom before we sign off for today?
Well, let's see. I think, what do you call it? Sorry, see aphasia.
Right?
You can talk more. I'm like, that is intense. Anyways, but just do what you love. It's like my guitar's up here and
I
piano.
love it.
I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, like you have your drums, right? So I'm like,
Exactly.
am I like I used to be? No. But you know what? Especially with the left hand, that's my chord hand. I'm like, ah. But you know what? I just do it every day. Like,
Yeah.
why? Not because I have to. I have to go and do this and make money. No, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is enjoy, do what makes you happy,
Right.
and just keep on. And there'll be things you run into, and but
Exactly.
just keep on and know that you can do it.
Exactly. And Heather, there you go.
Yep.
You are amazing.
Yep. Thank you for being here, Heather.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Yeah. And bringing on last one here, there, Mark. Exactly. We love hearing your story.
Yeah. Well, thanks for providing me this place. Happy to be able to share
Yeah.
and
And,
hopefully help.
yeah. Exactly. And that's why you do it. I do it. Just want to share, other experiences and other people that share their story. This
Correct.
platform. That's why I do it.
Yep.
Not for making money. Well, I'd love to, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. And by the way, there is the sponsor there, My Omo.
Yep.
That's him. My Own Motion. So for you
There's that.
guys, yes. And I should have got your logo. Well,
Oh,
next time.
yeah. I need to create a logo.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
Oh, and speaking of logo, which maybe I'll do this, but okay, I kind of like tattoos. Not everybody does. That's cool. But I wanted this one since my accident. Basically, my trach scar right
Oh,
there.
okay.
But, and this heart, funny, I always drew my hearts weird, but it's like that very angular, but
Right.
that's what I actually drew it. And then the birds coming in symbolized people came to help me. They still come to help me. So,
Yes. I mean, I love tattoos. I don't get enough. I couldn't lift it up to my other shoulder, but
yeah.
a big tattoo about stroke survivor, my date, and all that stuff. But I love
Yeah.
yours. I was gonna say
Yeah.
on the arms. I mean,
Yeah.
looking great.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
And yeah, that was a funny thing in the hospital when I was in coma still. My parents were like, no more tattoos, no more tattoos.
Oh
But
my
then
God.
when I woke up and the nurses came in, they're like, I love your tattoos.
Yes.
So I'm like, well, so do shows on Facebook as well. I have tattoos as well. Vintage pinup. Oh man, that's cool. So yes, I do use a restream to it's YouTube and Facebook. So
Yeah, and this
trying to
is
get it out.
yeah, same as here. We both use Restream.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you one more time. My pleasure to have you on.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure to be here and do anything I can.
Exactly. Well,
Yep.
thank you guys all for being here and asking questions. I love that.
Yes.
Really powerful. Well, thank you.
Fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll see you guys all later on Thursday. Yeah, Tuesday next week.
Yep. There we go.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah. We're going to do it.
Yes, we